Hey everybody, welcome back. Northernlion plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. 4 wins in a row. 2 of the last 3 or 2 of the last 2 which have been with the Keeper. No sweat. Oh, you're gonna give me a character with like HP today? That's crazy. That's JLNVR9MC. We're playing as Eve today. I'm excited. It's a good day. We're officially 1 week from repentance. I'm eager to sink my teeth into it. Let's put it that way. You know what? I'm eager to get. Yeah, this is pretty solid. I was gonna say I'm eager to get Whore of Babylon going here. The fact that we got an item that enables it, you know, that much easier, more easily. Sorry for the English majors amongst us. Is even better. No worries there. For now, I'm happy to be playing Isaac. It is kind of surreal that we're in the last week of... You know what? I think we should take that. The last week of Afterbirth Plus, which I can't even understand really how long I've been playing it. I mean, you could do the math. 1 episode a day, and we're on like, you know, episode almost 2,000. But we definitely have not been playing it for 7 years. There was probably the first couple of months, I have to imagine. I don't have a great memory of it. Son of a... because everything like pre-baby, son of a... I have a pretty poor memory of to begin with, you know? It's like, I got, BB and AB. Before baby, after baby. And before baby, memories are fuzzy. It's a different life. It doesn't exist. It happened to somebody else. I just happened to be observing it. But I have to imagine there were days where we were releasing, like, you know, 2 to 4 Isaacs a day, so, you know, either way, it's been a couple of years, and by a couple, I mean maybe, like, 4? So I'm excited for something new. It's basically, this is our, like, university graduation from Afterbirth Plus. And if you're like, no, it's not your university graduation because you haven't learned enough, you don't really understand, I think, conceptually how little you know when you complete your bachelor's degree. You might be a wunderkind, but, you know, nobody's out there getting 100% in every single one of their university classes, you know? Say, if you're doing in the upper 80s, you're already, like, crushing it. But a lot of people, you know what they call the doctor who got, you know, C's in medical school? They call them doctor. And not even Dr. Feelgood. He's the one that's gonna make you feel all right. He's gonna be your Frankenstein or your Frankenstein's monster. But yeah, I'm ready. Like, let's put it that way. I was thinking, man, it's like, it's crazy how long. I don't even like this item, so I'd rather get a penny, I think. If it doubled, then sure, maybe, but like, I think that was a situation where we could be very happy with the penny, honestly. That was a very low-risk bet. But I was thinking about it today, because I'm going to be doing an interview with Edmund, and I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm struggling for stuff to talk about, but I really don't want to have him on the stream, and then just start riddling him with, like, mechanics questions about Isaac. I'm just not interested. I know that sounds like, you know, oh, he plays the game, you know, every day for 10 years, and he's not interested. No, it's just I'm more interested in, you know, Edmund's relationship with the game, I guess. Did you hear? That was bassy, man. What the heck? Did we just get invaded by Zack Snyder's Dark Side? I don't understand what happened there. But yeah, like, you know, I guess you should spin it the other way. I have faith that Repentance will be like a nice refresh and capstone for Isaac in general. You know, it's not simply more of the same because it inherits that, oh, this is really good. We can actually take all of this, and then take this and not get out of the Whore of Babylon state anyway, which is very, very nice. Yeah, and we'll move on. I should have gone to the shop and used the Omega Penny. Also known as Crooked Penny, but that's okay. This run is, like, set in stone, basically. We're 3.5 minutes in, I would say we're almost done with the caves, even though we just started. But, like, I have faith that because it inherits, like, that freshness from AFTERBIRTH, which is in and of itself somewhat, you know, older now, but I'm excited nonetheless. I have the utmost confidence that Repentance is going to be I just walked right into it. A nice refresh for the series, not just for the video, but for, you know, people playing it at home as well. But I'm much more interested in, you know, how Edmund feels about the game, you know, what his like, why, and I get that this might sound accusatory, but I'm more interested in, like, you know, like, what's the motivation behind still, you know, this is the last one, but, like, what's the motivation behind Isaac right now? You know, is it, that Afterbirth Plus was received, you know, not necessarily poorly, but not that amazingly, so you want to leave people with, like, a, you know, with a bang, so they remember the experience fondly? Is it, you know, and you might take this in a negative way, but I don't see it that way. But, you know, his life has changed a ton over the past 7 years. You know, he's had a kid, and I believe his second one's on the way. You know, is it the sort of thing where, like, hey, I think the audience can, you know, there's a market need for more Isaac content, and the audience will bear it, but to some extent it's like just a business transaction that's like, we want to make sure that, like, you know, this gets done because, you know, there's a great meeting of supply and demand here. I'm interested to see, you know, or is it like, you know, is it almost like an ambitious or a spiritual thing, you know? Is it more along the lines of, you know, I've got all these ideas for Isaac that I want to make sure actually get out there, you know, from my brain. I think it's an interesting thing to think of, and again, I hope you don't take it as accusatory, accusing the game dev of maybe making DLC just to make money. Like, because these are the questions I ask myself. I feel like, you know, there's lots of Isaac content creators, but in terms of, you know, longevity and consistency, like, I'm up there. So I've been playing this game, you know, an hour a day for 10 years, and I ask myself similar questions. You know, why am I still playing Isaac? Well, there's a lot, right? Pays the bills, for sure, and has been very steady in that. Numbers for Isaac are not what they used to be, but obviously you expect them to be higher with Repentance. So, you know, it's kind of a guarantee, if you will. I shouldn't treat it like that, but you know what I mean. You know, none of the videos out of nowhere are going to go, you know, 10x of what they're at. But, you know, they're also not going to go 1/10 of X of what the average is. They're very steady, you know? I also like playing the game, and it gives me something, I don't know, like, there's other motivations, right? Like, this is almost like my therapy session, which is, I think, mighty dangerous when you consider, you know, that the psychiatrists on the couch are YouTube commenters. And it's like one of the opportunities I get to banter the most, for sure. It's kind of a unique thing on YouTube, and then, you know, on top of that, there's the idea that this is almost like it's almost like a legacy thing, if that makes sense. Like, the fact that I've done it for so long, one of the reasons, and you could take this in a bad way, but I don't see it that way at all. One of the reasons I kept making episodes, you know, through this period where content was at a low for the game. Oh, we're good to go, I think. Oh, no, we should go to our shop and try to double it. But let's see if we can double our boss first. Is because I've played so much of it. So, you know, it's kind of a positive feedback loop. Because I have the experience of having, you know, been on this... Even if we don't have a streak of wins, we have a streak of... We don't want that. Of having done an episode every single day for forever. You know, I'm attached to this. The streak in and of itself has like a secondary pull to it that I struggle to get away from. So, you know, I imagine, I mean, he's the actual designer, you know, let's call him the creator in this case, even though it's a collaborative effort. I imagine as a result of that, we're going to have like a different relationship with it, but I feel like it'll be interesting to explore those kind of dynamics. You know, and see, I mean, I might be completely on the wrong page. Maybe he's like, nah, I just thought it'd be fun. And he's like, why are you thinking so hard? And I'm like, have your motivations changed since you had a child? I don't know what we're gonna do about all these HP upgrades. Maybe we should stop seeing the HP upgrades we can't pick up as a loss. We should start seeing them as a... You know, that's the price we pay for having permanent Whore of Babylon. It's about the items you don't pick up. It's like jazz. I would like to re-roll this one more time. These are not good enough. That's good enough, maybe. I don't know. Sure, whatever. It's not like it's going to pay out anyway. We'll move on to the next floor. 8 minutes in, man. But yeah, I've been thinking about it more often, for sure. That was Krampus. Yeah. I'm interested. You know, I think... Here's the thing, you know, I know other creators have been doing interviews with Edmund. You know, he's kind of on the distance, you know, quarantine press tour, right? For Isaac, and I think it's really cool that he's volunteering his time to give back to... Not that he owes the creators of the videos or the streams anything, but I think it's cool that he's, like, you know, reaching out to do, like, holistic marketing by giving people interviews that are honestly going to do amazing numbers, and, you know, his time is at a premium. I think it's very generous of him to be doing it. But I definitely, I don't know, I'm just kind of disinterested in being like, you wanna tease some crazy synergy for the people out there? I feel like they can, you know, you kind of know what you're getting in Isaac. I don't know, maybe not. Sure, yeah, I knew it was coming, man. Woof woof, by the way. I should have used it right here, what was I thinking? It's like the highest percentage of items that I'm just ignoring. I don't even want to see them. I don't mean to be dismissive of, like, the game mechanics and stuff like that, because that's really one of the major reasons I play the game, but it's more like, you know, I'm sure you can get that information elsewhere. I'm more interested in finding out, like, dude, it's crazy. You've been working... You've released some other stuff over the same time period, but essentially you're coming to the end of this, like, you know, 11-year-long journey with the Binding of Isaac that you thought was going to be like a little project you would get done and then work on something else, and then, you know, would you look at that, we're now in 2021. How does that sound? Like, that's, I'm interested to know how you feel about that. But anyway, maybe the interview, maybe I'll botch it. I'm not necessarily a Sean Evans type or a Nardwar, if you will, but we're gonna do our best anyway. We're gonna try. I'd like to get to some more interesting questions like that. So I don't know if these will stack. We definitely, you know, we should take this. I think we should try one more time. And does it stack? It absolutely does. Okay. So this is fanny pack may or may not, but this is incredible. We'll continue to pick up fanny pack, and you know, every single one of these, it's apparently having diminishing returns, but that's okay. Alright, I will no longer complain about our lot in life when it comes to Omega Penny. I think it did an awesome job for us here. Alright, there we go, and then we cleared it out. That was amazing. I can't be mad about that in the slightest. Yeah, I don't know, I guess, I think it's kind of like a byproduct of a couple of things. One of them is getting older. One of them is that, like, you know, I think we're in kind of similar situations in life. You know, we got young kids. We make our living, you know, in the same industry. Obviously, vastly different roles, because his requires, like, talent and is also, weirdly enough, way riskier. Like, I don't understand how that works out, but, you know, it turns out that... I mean, what I mean by that is, it's, you know, there's a lot of risk inherent in being, like, a streamer and a YouTuber. You know, the platform could cease to exist randomly one day. They could be like, hey, you're banned, you know, etc., etc. But when you're a game dev, you know, you're putting a lot of money on the line, and then just sort of betting that in, you know, 1 to 5 years when the game comes out, people are gonna be like, good stuff, I want to buy it. Sometimes it works, sometimes most of the time, at least in the indie sphere, you end up basically losing a lot of money or taking forever to recoup your original investment. For me, I'm like, you know, if I go live, as long as I make a couple of jokes, people are gonna be like, this was the best frickin' stream I've ever seen, and I'll be like, oh, okay. Appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. I'm just like, I don't know. Best stream ever? Didn't you see AOC playing Among Us with Disguised Toast? And then the Redux, you know, copy my homework, but don't make it too obvious with me? I don't want to double it. This is an item it's better as a one piece. He said it! Yeah, you know, it's not that I'm disinterested in the game mechanics. I'm just, you know, like what to expect from Isaac. I mean, it sounds bad, but I'm like, I don't really care because I'm gonna see it. I'll see it for myself. You know, you don't need to tell me there's gonna be, you know, oh, you won't believe it. There's like super brimstone now. It's like, you know, I'm 32 years old, man. I don't want to know about super brimstone. I'll find it for myself in the wild. Instead, tell me, like, what drives you every day? what gets you out of bed to work on the 25th Isaac expansion? I'm interested. I'm interested to see how it goes. Anyway, that's what's going on, basically. Everything else is going well. I got nothing to worry about. Well, I mean, I can't really say that, I suppose, but you know, I'm not worrying about anything presently. It's been a good week. Fall Guys Rivals was yesterday. I thought Justin and I did a great job. I apologize because it's going to take about 100 years for all those VODs to make it up on YouTube, because we did... I mean, it was like a 4-hour... like a 3-hour Fall Guys tournament. We played 8 games that were 10 minutes long, so there was like 10 minutes of downtime in between each game. You can run the math for yourself on that, but I think it's pretty close. So I wanted to split it up into, you know, just the Fall Guys content. So I got 8 different VODs coming out on 8 different days. We're not going to get a reroll here. What am I even trying to do? We might as well just buy the items we like. But yeah, I'm gonna spoil it, because, you know, it's already happened. If you don't want to get spoiled on recent content that's come into VOD, like, I encourage you to, and this might sound like I'm pushing you away from YouTube, it's not the case. Most of the content is not time sensitive. If you're very concerned about the spoilers with Rivals, then, you know, I encourage you to watch those VODs on Twitch, where they've been for a day or two now. But yeah, we played 8 games. I think we made the finals in 7 out of those 8 games, which is actually amazing, because of the fact that we weren't playing against randoms like in the previous Fall Guys tournaments. Like, private matches are in the game, so we were playing against genuine, like, Fall Guys superstars. I thought we did really well. I was very impressed. I think I made the finals 6 or 7 times in 8 matches. And I was like, I never won a crown, for the record, but I was like, that's all I could ask for. Quite frankly, that's all I've got inside of me. In order to be able to make it through there. I don't think we used Black Rune there. And as soon as I made the finals, it was like a wave of relief just washed over me, because that's how you got points. Alright, let me just take a look at this. Oh no. I'm laughing because, like, I mean, this is inside baseball, but so I did that sponsored deal for, I mean, this is why people like to watch the show, right? We got a little funny inside baseball. I'm gonna preface this by saying there's some humor here. Like, I'm not sweating it, and I'm laughing at the humor of the situation. But we did this sponsored stream for a cool deck building roguelite called Deepest Chamber. And then part of the deal was like, hey, you know, publish like a VOD of the game to YouTube after. And so I sent the VOD from Twitch to YouTube, and then the sponsored, you know, organization was like, hey, like, we're okay with this, but we were kind of hoping it would be like a little bit of a tighter, like, edited version, because we're skeptical that people are gonna watch, like, you know, all 2 hours of this and understand what's going on. We think it would get a lot more attention if it just, you know, if it had, like, some editing behind it, and, I was like, that's fine. So, you know, we've done this before. I talked to Sir Toasty, a member of the community who does a lot of editing surrounding the content and the NLSS and so on and so forth. And I was like, hey, do you want to edit this? And, you know, obviously they were compensated. Then they edited it in record time and sent it over. The sponsors were like, this is awesome. And then we published the video on YouTube, and people hate it. People are like, we want the unedited version. And I just got a tweet from the sponsored team that's like, give people the Snyder cut, Ryan. Which is funny. Again, like, you know, yeah, I looked at as soon as I published it, I looked at the video and had like a 30% dislike ratio, and I was like, you know, I mean, it's not a good sign, but it's at least it's that people are like, you know, and again, this is not reflecting poorly on Toasty or any of the editing at all. I think it's just one of those games where, you know, in order to, if you chop it up, you know, it becomes a little harder to understand the continuity of it. You know, especially in a game where you need to keep like kind of a logical through line. It's just a situation that's funny, because, I mean, again, it's one of those things where, like, I think I'm, like, a very counterintuitive YouTuber. I'm also not, by the way, saying, I told you so, that, like, oh, I told you the unedited version would kill. Is much more like, you know, when a sponsored deal asks for a VOD, my initial inclination is like, hey, it'll be a lot less work to just, you know, send this unedited VOD from Twitch than to, you know, do some editing myself, but, you know, and then when they were like, we want like an edited version that we think will be a little snappier, I was like, that makes perfect sense. I think you're well within your rights to ask for it. Just a funny situation, you know. Sometimes the reaction that you get, you wouldn't expect. Let's put it that way. I need to pick up that key. But that's a pretty minor thing in the whole scheme of things. Like, if an Isaac video had like a 30% dislike ratio, I would definitely wonder what's going on. Like, the most controversial Isaac episodes in this day and age, like earlier this week I missed the crawl space, you know? And the likes to dislikes was like 98.5 to 1.5. I'm like, you know what, that's pretty good. I can live with that. I think my audience, their expectations are managed, which is why it would be super scary for me, right? I would, you know, if I looked and I saw 30%, I would be like, what the heck happened here? Was my mic off for the whole episode? Like, 'cause I think even if the mic was off for the full episode, I could get to a 75% like ratio. Only one time, but people would be like, that's funny, his mic was off. Oh, we got a crawl space? Like, there, redemption! We'll go to this crawl space. But with like a sponsored VOD or something like that, I'm like, don't even sweat it, man. 30, you know, you can make that 99% dislikes if you want. Like, you know, it doesn't change the fact that the video's staying up. We got, it's tort law. We got some contracts to fulfill. And I hope people don't hold it against the game either. The game's cool. You know, it's just maybe... You can understand, like, it's similar to Slay the Spire. If somebody uploaded, like, a 10-minute video of Slay the Spire, you'd be like, I don't really understand how this run progressed, maybe. Or maybe not, I don't know. So we want this item. Yeah, no doubt. Why am I using Blue Baby's only friend? We want this. We use it. We suck that up. That's a tears upgrade, baby. Alright, take me up. I'm not sweating it. It's a good day. Oh, am I crazy or is the sun coming out, man? It's supposed to be rainy today. I have become like that old man that watches the news just to see the weather report. I know you can also find it on the internet, of course. You don't even have to go to weather.com. You could just, I mean, first off, I would go to weather.ca, but you could just find it on, you know, your apps, your phone home screen, etc., etc. But I sometimes, you know, because I'm on baby duty, I have the news on. Go check it out, and it's like, you know, today's supposed to be rainy, rest of the week's supposed to be sunny. I went outside, like, I mean, this is why the weather matters, is because I go outside now. I know it's, I mean, I'm not going to, you know, happy hour on the patio or whatever, but this is a good reminder for us to drop this left hand, man. I was hoping we get Guppy, but we're 2 items away now. It's unlikely. But, you know, I take the baby out for these nice, like, outdoor walks. Walked around for, like, hour and a half yesterday. It's because it's an easy dilemma, right? Like, the baby, if we stay inside in the afternoon, the baby cries. If I take her outside in the afternoon, she sleeps. It's the easiest decision to make in fatherhood history. Plus, I get to get a little exercise, which is, you know, nice and also much needed after a year and a bit spent inside, maybe eating a little too much delivery. Maybe a little too much sympathetic pregnancy weight, etc., etc. It's nice to get outside again, of course. Dude, I went through all this, you're gonna give me a dead end. How dare you? I gotta come up with some interview questions today. This is brutality. Give me some of that. I am going to bomb my way through some of these rooms. But, yeah, it's an easy choice. But now when I see that it rains, basically the weather report is like Tom Waits says, you know, it's not a weather report, it's an emotional weather report. I look at that to see what days I'm going to be forced inside and thus have to deal with a crying baby for 3 hours instead of getting some fresh air and a sleeping baby for 3 hours. So today, it might be a little rainy. You could still take the baby out in the rain, but you know, like, I don't want the wheels of the stroller to get muddy. You know, you're on the sidewalk most of the time, but occasionally you gotta take like a little dirt desire path or something like that to get around some tourists, and you know how it is. Oh, my city's so beautiful. People are stopping to take photos all the time. Life's so hard. The Bugatti stroller doesn't handle that well off-road. Yeah, now you're getting it. Now you understand. I still can't believe I'm, like, why does my brain insist on using Blue Baby's only friend? Look, it's not like I want this run to be over. I just want you to be the Emperor card. So that, you know, it can end faster. Can you blame me? This is a win. And it was really never in danger in the slightest, on top of that. I can tell my expectations are out of whack right now, because we got, you know, 5 rate of fire, 12 damage, and I'm like, this isn't fast enough. Like, what's wrong with me, man? Put me in here. Yeah, okay. I would love, Tech X. Is that so much to ask? Just a little Tech X would go a long way. Shoop the Whoop, in many ways, is kind of like Tech X, right? Yeah, I think we can take Shoop the Whoop and just point it in absolutely the wrong direction. This is one of the very few times in my life I think I've ever looked at Eve's mascara and been like, oh yeah, that's the item for me. Okay. Well, I mean, this is crazy damage, man. It's too good. Now we got space for more tiers upgrades as well. I knew it! I knew he wasn't gonna make it across. So anyway, yeah, that's where I'm at. It's just been a fun morning, really. I'm being sincere, when I saw the like-dislike video, I kind of like laughed it off. Because what are you gonna do, right? If I published an Isaac episode and it was 50-50 likes, dislikes, and, you know, that could happen in 2012 if you just, like, missed an item room or something like that. But in 2021, I think we've all mellowed out a little bit with respect to the Binding of Isaac. And, you know, the only way that something like that's gonna go down is, like, you know, you had to make a horrible mistake either as, like, a human being or as, you know, an impossible to calculate mistake as an Isaac player. Like, you'd have to, like, never touch an item room for the whole game, I think, and not have it be deliberate. Now, don't even get me started. If a Twitch VOD... Oh, if King of Retail had that happen, I don't know. I think for King of Retail, people are loving it so much right now. I would actually have to, like, commit a felony in real life in the video in order for that. And even then, people would be like, you know... It'd probably get 10% dislikes, and then, like, a certain contingent of the community would be like, lol, he's based. And I'd be like, that's not the lesson you should take from this, But thank you, I think? I don't know. I suppose? I'm hemorrhaging damage here. I'm using all the wrong damage sources. You know, is some extreme greed apparent here? That's what I'm looking for. I wanted them stacked up there. That's what you love to see. I mean, I'm using orbitals. I'm using Blue Baby's only friend. What have I done? How could this happen to me? I've made my mistakes. Got nowhere to run. The life goes on as I'm fading away, I believe is the way that the song goes. A simple plan. You've heard of them? Canada's pop punk princes? Okay, take me in. I told you it was like this was mathematically certain. There was once we got Abaddon, there was almost no way for this run to get destroyed. But I'm not really proud of the way we played it at the end, but you know what? Life goes on. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. And hey, follow me on Twitch for cool things like this Edmund interview. Twitch.tv/Northernlion. We're live every day but Saturday. See you then. See ya!